Hello, and welcome to another episode of the Rollwise Show. Today, we're doing our actual play recorded. So we hope you guys enjoy this format. This is what we're doing to kind of make it so we still get some game time throughout the week, but, kind of adjust with the schedules that are kind of fluctuant, one could say, as we have right now. So this is going to be a continuation of our Cyberpunk Red game. We're playing one of the Tales of the Red, staying vigilant. So if you are interested in playing the game or have played it, hopefully you can give us some tips on how we're doing, what you liked about the game, the system, all that kind of stuff, and you can leave those in the comments below. But I think without further ado, I think we can go ahead and get back into it because we left it at a non-cliffhanger. You guys had just arrived at a warehouse. The warehouse is an old abandoned warehouse. It's near the hot zone in the upper marina area. It's not been really maintained or anything like that, but you did notice that there was kind of a new security door, and of course a new keypad next to it, the security lock keypad. So for people that are just maybe joining us for the first time, you guys want to give like a super quick reminder as to who your characters are, and then we'll jump into it.
Yeah.
Go.
My character goes by the name Mr. Bob, and he's a violent, rebellious solo.
Perfect.
Punk kid turned professional thug, basically. He was a bodyguard at some point, but he's pretty much just a street animal. So yeah.
He could still be considered a bodyguard in the current context.
That's true. He is sort of guarding Jeff's body, I guess. Jeff's character's body.
I guess.
He hit that guy real good with the baseball bat when he threatened Jeff.
You did. No, that is true. That worked well. I'm playing Chase Kobayashi, nomad, dresses sort of like a bohemian, known for his striped hair. He tries to, see the best in everyone, do his job, trying to reclaim his family's honor, really. So moves packages from city to city across the wasteland.
And helps a friend in need.
My character moves body parts from bodies.
Expert disassembly.
Hey, I got somebody that ordered a tooth. You, come here.
So to recap the mission that they're on, right now they were contacted by Trace Aldecado or Trace Santiago.
Santiago. Aldecado is the name of the nomad
Aldecado
family.
is the name of the nomad.
Yep.
About a job. Basically, there seemed to be there's the rumors that a cyberpsycho is going around knocking off edge running crews, and they're up to 3 so far. Trace is a media and likes to break stories for the No Blink News, I think it's called. And he was hoping to hire this crew. They came highly recommended to him to help him break this story. And so they're currently at a warehouse with a drone, and they're seeing if they can get a little bit farther into their investigation. So basically, just to kind of pull back a little bit, when you approach the warehouse, there is basically one main door. You see off to the side, there appears to be one of those like fire escapes that has the retracted ladder where the ladder is currently up, that goes up to a higher floor, but you're not really seeing any outward activity or anything like that. However, I would like to know how you're approaching this, other than are you just going up and beating on the door?
We just walked up to the door. I kind of gave it a scan to see if there were any cameras, since there's a new keypad. I assume there's a camera somewhere where Hard Hat or her crew are looking at us, and we said Hard Hat's name a few times to see if we got a response. But that's initially how we approach it. So yeah, I'll knock on the door even.
Sure.
I mean, we're trying to be open just so they
why don't you give me
we're not confrontational
perception check as you're knocking around scanning the building
already.
Or perception roll. I say perception check like I'm in D&D still. Hate to say that.
It can still be a perception check.
Yeah.
Oh, whoops. There we go. Double whoops. I rolled a 17.
Oh, nice. So what you do see is that actually, my mistake. So you basically, as you're doing a quick scan of the building looks, I mean, other than the door and the keypad, it looks um, fairly nondescript from the other area, from the other buildings in the area that have been kind of left to rot here, as it's been. Nobody really takes ownership of this area since it's so close to the hot zone. It's just kind of like scavengers, squatters, and all of those kind of things. But you don't see anything else, just kind of overtly as you're looking around.
And
So-
is there any response to us knocking or standing at the door?
No, are you kind of like, so why don't you describe that a little more to me? Are you like banging on the door? Are you
Yeah.
typing in the keypad? You like yelling at the keypad?
I'm not going to type into the keypad. No, that would be dumb. I'm just banging on the door.
Okay.
Yeah, literally
Um,
banging on the door. Yeah, to try and see if I can get a response. And
with
yell
foot or
and
hand?
with my hand. Well, with my back. Well, just my hand for now.
Just your bat. Bang. Hard head, get out here. Bang.
No, it's not like that. It's just well, you say the name probably once or twice because I don't want to yell it too many times. But yeah,
Okay. And Jeff, as you see him go up, what does Chase do in this
I'm
situation?
trying to
Mr.
pay
Bond
attention, is make sure nothing comes up behind us from either side.
Okay.
Kind of scanning the area, trying to pay attention.
Uh,
Figure he's got the door. The rest of it's on me.
all right. So are you leaving him at the door and moving around, or describe that a little?
I'm probably 4 or 5 feet behind him and maybe to the left. Just looking up, around, back the way we came.
Okay.
Just kind of trying to pay attention to everything.
I'll give you an also perception check just to see if there's anything you notice.
Okay. I rolled a 15.
Okay. Yeah. So pretty much as you look around, like I said, the place looks like it's abandoned, other than the door and everything like that. You don't notice anything special about it. It doesn't look as though you don't see any like cars or anything outside. There's nothing that indicates somebody is using this. But outside, even just standing a few feet back, you can see that the warehouse, it's in its age. Even the corporate logo is kind of like rusted out and everything like that.
so there is a fire escape.
Mhm.
Is there broken windows or the open windows or anything like that above on the fire escape?
It doesn't seem as though there's any windows at that level. For this type of warehouse, it looks like it's the windows, if there's some, there might be on the very top to let light in, maybe on the roof or something.
Why is there a fire escape if there's no windows? Like you're supposed to.
Oh,
crawl
there's
out
a
the window to get to the fire
it
escape.
leads to, I guess, a door that's on the side there.
Oh, it's a door. Okay.
Yeah.
How high is the fire escape?
If you want to try to get up there, it looks like you can make an athletics check to basically leap and get to the. You could basically kind of do a jump up, grab the thing, and bring it down. Or if you have does anybody have like a grapple gun or anything like that?
No.
I do not have a grapple gun.
Yeah, so it looks like you could jump up with an athletics.
I'll make it. Yeah, I'll make it. I'll try to jump up there and see if I can grab it.
Okay.
Nope. Only 14.
Okay. You kind of like, as you kind of jump, kind of like trying to bounce off the wall to jump up and grab for it, and it's just tantalizingly out of reach. Not
So
very
that was
far,
an
though.
athletics check.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I will try.
Can I give him a bonus by helping him? Try and boost him?
Yeah, you could try to
I got a
boost it.
16.
Yeah. So do you guys basically just kind of give him a little, hoist him up?
Yep.
Basically, give him a little boost. Jeff, you're able to grab the ladder, and of course, as soon as you grab onto it, the ladder kind of like comes down. It's one of those retractable ones where it goes down when it needs to and retracts when it's on. So yeah, you can both get up the ladder pretty easily.
Okay. All right. We'll climb up.
Yeah, we'll try that door.
Okay.
Is there a keypad on that door too, or is this a different old door?
No, it just looks like it's an old school lock. So it's just an older locked door.
It is locked though.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So you could try to pick the lock or something like that, but
I'm not going to try to pick the lock.
What skill would picking the lock be?
Lockpick.
Pick lock.
Pick lock check.
Well, there's about 75. Okay, there is pick lock.
Pick lock.
No,
pick lock.
I don't. That's not one of my skills, and I only have a 3 in that stat, so I would only be at a +3. So I'm
not any good at it either.
Picking the lock is not going to work.
Guess we could try the roof. Because the fire escape, how far does the fire escape go up?
Just up to this door. But you can, if you wanted to, like, basically there's like a railing or something like that. That, so you don't just leave out the door and fall down to your death. You can stand on the railing and you could use that to boost yourself up to the roof with a couple of climbs and all that.
So it's only a 2-story building?
Mm-hmm. It's not very tall.
I look at you for ideas. I can boost you up there, or...
Yeah, why don't you try to boost me up there?
Okay, I'll boost him up on the roof.
Okay. Yeah, so getting to the top of the warehouse roof, it's just a standard roof, but you do see that there's like kind of some sun, what are those things called?
Solar panels?
Not solar panels. My brain went dead right there. When you have like a sunlight, it's just it's literally just a window on the roof.
Oh, it's a skylight.
Skylight. It's a sunlight.
It's a flat roof with a skylight on top of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's just, basically, so there are some lights and all that kind of stuff. It does, or there are the skylights and everything like that, so that there is some light that makes it into the warehouse. Not a ton. Some of those look like they have been broken over time, and there also looks like there is a small roof access door that comes up here, and it looks like there's like what are those things called, like air conditioning and other ventilation units and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, go look around, see if there's anything up way that door's on, see if the roof door's unlocked, or if there's any signs of people inside the window. I guess don't get shot.
Okay. Looking down from the skylight, you do see that there are some old containers that are in there that you can make out. But the most notable thing that you can see is that there's like a group of people that are kind of working around like an area, like they have a table set up, they have a bunch of gear kind of laid out, and it looks like they're preparing for something. They appear to be having a conversation between them, but they're hard to hear based on how far away you are from them, though. They're not yelling at each other, they're just talking. And it doesn't seem as though their voices carry up to where you're at.
I call the drone over and ask him if any of those people are hard hat. Or did we see their picture?
Did you see their picture?
I don't remember if he showed us a picture or not.
He did not show you the picture, but Trace comes over, kind of hovers above the thing. You can hear like the camera focus and try to zoom maybe or something like that. And you hear him kind of like, yeah, it looks like that one down there is that's Hard Hat. And it looks like the rest are part of her crew. He said, and he mentions that he knows the Hard Hat. It's hard for him to point out who's who, but based on his description, he mentions that he recognizes Bullhorn, Spanner.
Weren't we just supposed to find them? Like, wasn't that our job?
Well, the job was, he believed that they could provide more information on what's happening, what's happening with the story. So we have to talk to them.
So we have to talk to them.
that would be his desire. He's like, if you can get in there, I bet you can find out more information about what's happening here. And he's just like, I bet you could jump down. No. True. He's in a drone hovering over there. It's like, I bet you could make it.
I bet the drone could go. I bet you could fly down there and say something. As opposed to us getting riddled with bullets by jumping down there.
He's like, I don't know. They might. Well, he could try it.
Again, plan A is better than bullet plan. I mean, the window. Okay. You said the window's broken, right?
Yeah, he could probably slip the drone in there.
That's my first suggestion. If he'll do it, well, let him do it. If not, I guess I'll go to the open window and whistle at them and ask them to open the door.
So,
unless basically, which you probably should.
So so Jeff, did you also get on the roof at some point? Did you help him get up there? Or
yeah, I came up.
Okay.
I mean, if he didn't, I'm just standing there, and once he comes back to the ledge and tells me that's what I tell him. Is like, send the drone in there and tell Trace to send the drone down there.
So Trace, he asked for, like, it looks like the drone is just big enough that he can't make it in there, so you'd have to open up one of the windows a little bit to basically kind of pull it open. If you do so, he's able to get in there. Are you going to open it quietly? Or are you going to open it loudly?
I mean, I just open the window. If it makes noise, it makes noise. Like I said, we're not trying to be sneaky. We're not trying to sneak up on them.
Okay. So you open it up the window. It makes a little bit of noise, as you kind of like move the rusted pieces. And his drone goes in there. It doesn't take very long before the drone kind of descends. And all of a sudden you do hear an audible, what the fuck? And then
don't shoot. Shooting. I yell, don't shoot before they start open fire.
It seems as though you were too late because they were very trigger happy at the side of the drone, and they started shooting. So just a second, let me roll some dice here to see what happens. Sorry, Trace. I really liked your drone. Okay. Okay. Wait a minute. I'm not actually sure I know the one thing for the drone. I guess I never thought that this would be the outcome, but sure. 1 second.
Well, they could not shoot it then.
No. Good.
I didn't assume they would just open fire on a drone who's obviously not a cyber psycho.
Never know. Yeah. So I'm going to look here. So,
yeah, I assume Trace has on the drones anyways. So
okay. Mini air drone. Okay.
Yeah, I think that's a fair assumption.
I only have one body, so.
Okay, 6 move, 50 hit points. Okay. So in this case, let me roll some dice. You see the drone basically as they look up to where it comes from, and like it doesn't. They all have weapons within arm's reach. It seems like they were at least prepared for something. As soon as the oh fuck happens, they just start firing up there, kind of a little bit trigger happy at the entire situation. And it does seem as though the drone is hit with a few bullets. Trace is trying to pull the drone out of harm's way, but you can see the drone is just flying erratically at this point. You can't really tell if the drone is going to make it or not.
Okay,
And
so I yelled, I would stop shooting.
You hear them go, "They're on the roof! They're on the roof!"
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we wait on I close the window, and I guess we wait on the roof.
Okay. You hear basically some as you hear like footsteps on there. You can probably are you guys looking down at the
No, literally, I shut the window and I'm looking at the door, and I put my hands up. I put the bat in front of me, and I just put my hands up.
Okay, Jeff, what are you doing in this case?
Hands up.
Okay. All right. So as you guys approach, or as you guys hear the things approaching, it seems as though like they come out, and the first person to come out is actually, it looks like it's Hard Hat herself. As you didn't see it down there, but she is wearing like literally, she's called Hard Hat with a shtick because she has a hard hat helmet.
As soon as they come, I start saying Trace's name and blurting out as quickly as possible.
You're like, the door gets kicked open, they come out commando style. You're like, don't shoot, and they squeeze off a round in your direction. Who's closer, do you think, to the door?
Probably me.
Okay. So what is your reflex again, Brent?
8.
Ooh, that's a good one.
So
I
in
can
this
dodge
case,
the bullet.
Yeah, because you have you can make I can either choose the difficulty of the based on range, or I can choose difficulty based on your what is it? Is if you have a dexterity plus evasion plus a D10, and that would be your difficulty to hit. Do you know those numbers on your
evasion? My evasion is 12.
Oh, so dex plus evasion is 12?
Well, no. My level of evasion is 6. My stat is 6. Oh wait, yeah, because it's dex. So yeah, it's 12.
Okay, plus you get a D10. So why don't you go ahead and roll that, and that'll be my
D10 plus 20.
No, D10 plus the dex plus evasion skills.
Okay.
And so ref plus relevant weapon skill plus 10.
I rolled a 22.
Whoa. Jesus Christ.
Dodge bullets.
I'm not gonna lie, that's pretty good.
So unless it's a spray, because I think auto fire is harder to dodge.
Assault rifle with smart gun link. So 1 second. Okay, short arms. So she has a 12. Okay, so it's not terribly different, but but you got a 10, so you'd explode on that, wouldn't you? In this scenario,
is that how it works?
I would assume so. It seems like a kind of skill that would explode.
I mean, I didn't wasn't aware that there was exploding dice for sure.
Yeah, I mean, so if you roll a 10 on a D10, that explodes up, but you can only do it once.
Okay, I got a 32 then, because I rolled another 10.
But if you roll a D10 and roll a 1, it's the same thing. You can explode down once, effectively.
I rolled a D10 plus 12, which is 22, and then I rolled another D10.
She misses.
So the target number is 32.
Fuck, man. Good job. You didn't even have your whatever engaged, your Sandovian or whatever.
That only affects initiative.
Yeah, it's pretty impressive. It's a good roll, Brent.
You've just been on the street long enough to know. Like,
the one
as
time.
soon as she came through the door and brought up her weapon, you're like, that bitch isn't gonna stop shooting. It's just yeah. So she comes out and she looks like she's going for a tactical position. She did fire off a shot at you, Brent. It looks like Mr. Bob was able to effectively get out of the way. Since you succeeded so well, how are you getting out of the way? Are you positioning yourself in a place of cover? Like, how are you approaching this?
No, because I'm not getting in a gunfight with them. We're not supposed to get into a gunfight with them. So basically, I just dodge out of the way of the bullet and keep yelling at them to stop firing. And if they shoot at me again, I guess then I'll take cover. Because cyberpsychos don't usually talk very much about stop shooting.
Yeah.
Okay. Jeff, what are you doing in this entire equation?
I'm gonna duck like when they shoot, and I'm just yelling, "Jesus, stop shooting! We're trying to help you with the cyberpsycho."
Well, not really. We just really want to give them. We just really want to know what they know, but.
All right.
I'm just saying short words like unarmed. Then the guy's name, Trace's name, to try and get some recognition there. Wants to talk, that sort of thing.
Okay. So let's roll some D10s.
What are we rolling?
So when we do initiative, basically everybody does everybody rolls a D10.
Split your reflexes?
Actually, I don't believe your reflexes are involved in the initiative roll.
So it's just D10?
Yeah. So, but I could be wrong. 1 second.
What did we roll?
Nope, it is reflex plus 1d10. My apologies.
Okay, I'm using my combat awareness. I'm going to use 2 points to add to my initiative.
Okay.
Oh, I rolled really shitty, though. I'm at a 12.
Did you add 2 points? Doesn't that make it 14?
No, my reflexes are 10. Or my reflexes is 8.
I added
2.
I rolled a 15.
I'm actually impressed with how amazingly bad that roll was for me. So reflex. So that would be a 11. It would be a 9. It would be a 10. And last but not least, it would be a 10. Wow. Okay, so that's my initiative order for my folks. So in this case, now there are things that you can do in this scenario. Are you just, because my understanding is that like talking is like a free action. Is that kind of where you're starting with? Are you going to like lower your initiative? Like, what are you?
No, I'm just going to keep yelling at them to stop shooting at us.
Okay. All right. They seem pretty driven on going.
Getting in a gunfight with him and shooting a few of them isn't going to do it. Like, isn't going to help our case at all.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for me a persuasion check.
Cool. What skill I have? Nothing. I rolled an 8.
Okay. It seems as though between fire, like, like you getting out of there and all that kind of stuff, you're kind of your short monosyllabic approach, just throwing words out there. It doesn't seem to have changed their mind at all. They look like they're ready for something, and you just happen to be the something that came into their purview.
I do tell Chase to run, like go off the
Mhm.
edge of the building if they're not going to stop shooting, is what I say to Chase.
Yeah. So I mean, so just so you know, it seems as though they were ready for something, and like I said, because you came in like this, they are treating you as that something for at least the time being. Chase, it's your turn. What are you doing in this scenario?
Yelling, "We surrender!"
Okay. Why don't you roll for me a persuasion check as well?
Persuasion +9.
Mm-hmm.
You can spend luck too to add to your roll, right? Is that what luck's for?
Yeah. Oh,
Nope, I rolled a 1.
can you roll
I got
another
10.
one for me?
Another D10.
Yeah.
A 3. So it's a 6.
Okay. So, Jeff, basically, are you just like screaming, "I surrender"?
Yeah.
Like, you know, and you basically, as you're screaming it out, you kind of,
You can still
you know,
run too because it's a free action.
yeah, you can still
talk.
move. Are you moving to cover, or what are you going to try to do there?
Yeah, I'm trying to find some cover.
Okay. All right. Now, cover is pretty important in this game, from my understanding. So, 1 second. Okay.
So I want to retcon one thing. So I was yelling, but I want to retcon. I will move to cover if they shoot at me again.
Okay.
So I can basically hold my action or reduce my initiative past the first person.
Correct. Yeah. So
because you roll every turn, so it doesn't really matter.
Initiative? No, initiative's the same throughout the entire fight.
Oh, so it'll permanently be lowered to after the first person.
Yeah. And then I think there are ways in which you can adjust your initiative afterwards. But yeah, I think when you're moving your initiative, because here's the
well, then why can I can spend an action for my combat awareness to change where I'm spending it, but it says it persists over the course of the combat if I don't. So we can look at how that works later. So I guess if that's the way that it works mechanically, I guess I will have moved to cover after I started talking and then told Chase to run.
Okay.
Wherever cover is, it sounds like there's just the skylight and the door. You
said there was
the air conditioning and stuff too.
Yep. So there's definitely types of things that can be used for cover up here. Cover, so you can kind of get behind it and everything along those lines. Cover provides a kind of like an armor or like a stopping power and stuff like that. Let me just pull up those rules real quick. I thought I had them on my cheat sheet, but I did not have them, unfortunately. Okay. And of course, cover is used in 4,000 pages in the book. Yikes. Come on. I'm going to have to say that I started using Internet Explorer as the PDF reader that I have, but I don't like it as much as my last one.
Well, yeah, that's because it's not a very good PDF reader.
No, it's terrible. It's absolutely terrible. So, okay. So, assuming that you move behind various things like either ductwork or vents or pipes or something like that, I'll assume that, so if you're able to hide behind it, it's considered full cover where they don't have a line of sight on you. But I'm going to give it thin HP in terms of how much HP the cover has and everything like that. So in this case, how cover would work is if enemies move around, let's say narratively, to find ways to get around your cover, then that's what would take the cover away or something like that. Okay, so Jeff, you find a place that you're basically hiding behind. Brent, you are basically telling them, yelling at them, and you've also run to cover too, just as part of your move, right?
Say that again. Sorry.
You as you were yelling, you were also running to cover.
Yeah, knowing that I would have to reduce my initiative. Yes.
Okay. All right. So.
So you're either in cover or you're not in cover. There's no partial or whatever.
Correct.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So whatever cover they'll be shooting at, they'll be reducing hit points of the cover and not hitting us.
Correct. Unless, of course, there are some examples where cover doesn't matter, where like if somebody throws like a grenade or something like that, grenades and cover do a little bit different, and all those kind of things. So it is. Who did I have? I have Hard Hat's turn.
So just to be clear, that means that we're behind stuff that they can't see us.
They might know where you are, but technically, if you're behind,
but they can't see it. Okay, that's just what I wanted to make sure.
Yeah. I mean, they can still shoot at you at the cover to try to.
Well, they shoot at the object that we're behind.
Yeah, I mean, the goal there is to basically lay down in a fire that either they get through the cover or flush you out or something like that. Okay. All right. All right. So in this case, you can hear that, they seem to be like trying to fan out. Hard Hat just continues to be in their location, but in this case, they're going to pull out their assault rifle and just start basically firing at you. It sounds like, Brent, you were probably closer than Jeff was in the grand scheme of things, so she's going to use auto fire in your direction. And I would say it would probably be fair to say that she's between 13 and 25 meters away. So that'll be the middle of the chart there. So she's going to spend 10 bullets. So here, roll this. So she needs to roll a 17. She gets to do 2d6 and multiply it by the amount you beat the DV to hit your target up to a maximum denoted by the weapon's auto fire. For this number of amount of damage. Okay, so now I'm going to roll my dice, and if I've done this correctly, auto fire is a really interesting concept. It's a little unwieldy for me right now because this is my first time using it. Auto fire 12. Okay. So this point. So because I did 12, and if this is how you read it, if you hit, roll, and our difficulty based on our range was 17, roll 2d6 for damage and multiply it by the amount you beat the DV to hit your target up to a maximum denoted by the weapon's auto fire, 4 for assault rifles. So get 8d6. Okay. $26 points of damage. So one damage. It looks like one of the bullets was able to clip you for 1 damage as it passed through a thinner part of the metal there.
Well, yeah, but it's destroyed, right?
Yeah. So basically,
it's not good cover anymore.
whatever you were hiding behind just basically got shredded in the auto fire. And what I and kind of imagine is that, if you were behind some like ventilation gear or something like that, pretty much the thin metal just stripped away. You could start seeing bullets start to go through as it got to the end of the clip. Moving away from it, you still got a little bit of a graze, from what I could tell. Now, 1 second, I just want to check one last thing on cover, just to make sure, because you might, I mean, technically, it might still impact your.
Oh no, I don't get hurt. If it covers, HP drops to 0, excess damage is lost and doesn't harm any targets behind.
Oh, perfect. Well, then no. I wanted to double check that because I was curious if the stopping power of your armor did anything, or if there was anything that way.
I do have armor, but that's I'm on the page. That's the only reason why I saw it.
Okay, perfect. Then that's exactly it. So basically, it just, you can tell from how many bullets just riddled that air conditioning unit that is no longer a safe place to hide. That's interesting. Cover is very helpful in this game.
Yeah, no kidding.
A free shot. Jeff, you moved to the side, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're behind cover yourself. The next
Yes.
person is going to. What's that?
Yes, I am.
Okay. The first person is going to fire at Brent. The other person, the second person in line, is going to take advantage of that and try to get Brent with their next shots. 2.
Do I get to evade?
Yeah, you can do an evade. I think you can do an evade on every one of these, can't you?
Probably.
Doesn't seem like you have any limitation there, which is kind of interesting.
I roll a 19.
Let's see here. Next evade. Okay, so ranged combat, just to make sure I'm on the same page. Can it be canceled or concealed? No. So defenders, DV. Okay. Yeah, it doesn't really say that you do it a certain number of times, I guess.
Probably not. It's very nature of the game.
Yeah. So okay. So let's go ahead and make my rolls.
So they all gonna shoot at me? Because I'll just roll for all
No, just one guy has an ROF of 2 on his gun. So if you want to roll another one, that would be helpful. I'm just going to 2d10. 9 and a 5. And 12. Okay, so the first one does hit. It looks like I have a 12 and I rolled a 9. So that would be a 21.
Oh, they shoot as good as I do. That's good.
What's that?
They shoot as good as I do.
Okay, total of 8 minus, of course, whatever your stopping power is.
I have 11 on my armor.
Okay, so that'll be 10, just has been reduced by 1.
Wait, what?
So you take. What's that?
Say that again.
Well, so your stopping power is reduced by 1 whenever it stops damage.
But it stops all the damage.
Yeah. So it's like in this case, that first one does 0 damage to you. Actually, let me double check that.
I don't think that's right. I think it comes off of your SP total, your stopping power total. So I think it's 11 minus 8 with 3 left over.
Oh, you think I would remember this? I think I just started reading too much Coriolis.
I think that's how it works, but I'm not sure.
You know what? That's what this is. Okay, using armor. So armor is rated by its stopping power or SP, which is how well it can stop damage, can be worn, armor can be purchased, blah, blah, blah. SP gained by armor does not stack. Only your highest source of SP in a location determines your SP for that location. All worn armor in that location is ablated simultaneously. And ablation is what we're looking to deal with here. Where the hell is ablation? It says it ablates it, and then it doesn't mention where it's
Yeah, it absorbs the whole, like, so it would be 8 points of damage would be what the armor takes, and I don't take it. And then the next shot will get a -3, and then my armor will be worthless.
No. I think the ablation is different than what you're explaining there. Let me just double check though, because ablation it's important here. How do you spell ablation?
ABLATION.
Yeah, okay. Okay. Okay, subtract your armor's SP in that location. If they didn't target your head using an aim shot, this always counts as your body. Subtract any remaining damage from your hit points, which the first shot did not do. If you ended up taking any damage, your armor on that location is still ablated, reducing its SP by 1 until it's repaired. Wait.
So they have to get over my armor to actually do damage and ablate the armor.
That's what I'm trying to confirm, because it says it still ablates the armor, but that would mean, okay, let's do.
That would mean they don't do any damage, and it only goes down by 1. Which would make armor really useful.
Oh, it's super useful. That's why I wanted to make sure I got this right, because I kind of got confused a little bit here. But it's actually really good when you have armor in the grand scheme of things. But for whatever reason, I cannot find the ablation rules at all. Okay. Okay, so SP in the gained by armor does not stack. Only your highest source of SP in a location determines your SP for that location. All your worn armor in that location is ablated simultaneously whenever you take damage. So if you don't take damage, it doesn't look as though it's ablated at all.
Armor reduces the damage you take. Each piece of armor has a stopping power rating. If you get hit for 14 damage and your SP is 11, then you only take 3 damage. So in this case, I wouldn't take any damage. However, every time an attack does more damage than your SP, you have to ablate the armor by 1, reducing the SP by 1. So I have full armor still, and it doesn't do any damage.
Yeah, so you have full armor, and then the second one only does 1 point of damage, but does ablate the armor.
How much did they do?
They did 12 on the second shot.
Okay.
There we go. Sorry, everybody. That was... We now know.
That's why we're doing the rules.
Okay. All right, perfect. So this is the kind of conversation you have at your home table, just as you kind of learn the rules. So this is what we said, is that the game goes much faster once you have all these little things controlled for and everything like that. Okay. And so the next person is going after Jeff. But
he's behind cover, so I have to bust up his cover first.
You can tell that the other two are fanning out. They look like they're trying to go around Jeff. So they're trying to get around you to the side. They are not able to make it this turn, though. So knowing that they're going around is back top of the initiative order. Brent, what are you doing?
I'm telling him to chase to run again, and I'm running to the edge of the building and jumping down to the fire escape.
Yep.
Yeah, I'm going to try to get to the fire escape. They don't seem interested.
All right. So, are you basically running and jumping off, Brent, and trying to do an athletics check to get the heck
Sure.
out of there?
Yeah, sure. Athletics check.
Mhm.
I rolled an 11, so I didn't roll very good. So I probably break my leg.
No.
What does
All right.
falling do? There's rules for falling damage here somewhere.
There's definitely falling damage. Jeff, what are you doing? Are you kind of doing the same?
Yeah, I'll do the athletics check.
Okay.
14.
All right. I'm going to say that both of you guys did not pass your athletic checks in that scenario because it is a second story of a warehouse.
Well, yeah, but we're going down one story to the fire escape.
Oh,
Unless you're saying we jumped
to the
off
fire escape.
I said the fire escape.
I'm sorry, I missed that. Then I thought you were like literally both of you kind of grabbed hands and
jumping down to the fire escape.
Okay, no athletics check for that then. That's pretty funny. I thought you guys were literally just leaping off. What was that show where like they looked at each other and jumped off, and it was like Dwayne Johnson and the other guy?
The other guys.
The other guys. I kind of thought you were pulling at the other guys right there, where they just leapt off a super tall, impossible to live building.
Characters will fall. And it should be only about 10 feet, so we should be under the amount to actually do any damage.
No. Like I said, I thought you were jumping all the way to the ground. No.
20 feet, it would be 2d6 damage for every 10 yards they fall.
Mm-hmm.
And you do get your body armor, though. Unless you do a DV check of 15. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. So you guys jump down and you're running, and as you guys make your way down the fire escape, you do see that like they chase after and pop off some more shots in that scenario. It looks like I'm going to give Hard Hat one more shot at Jeff just to see if she can wing him. Okay. Jeff, what is your reflex?
Not high enough for a dodge. We covered that last time.
6? That's true.
Is that right? 6? 7?
Yeah.
My reflex is a 6. My evasion, however.
Yeah, but you can't dodge bullets. You can't dodge bullets unless it's over 8. It's 8 or higher.
Okay.
Yep. It has like a weird, you have to have an 8 reflex in order to use your dexterity and evasion skill. So in this case, it is now assault rifle.
Is she auto firing at him? So if she hits him, she can liquefy him. Is that the goal here?
No, but I'm gonna shoot one time. I'm gonna take an aim shot at you. Well, not an aim shot, because an aim shot has a -8. Well, I guess you could try to pop you in the head as you're running. No. But she does hit you, though. Jesus. For 23 points of damage, minus whatever your armor is. But she also does a critical hit.
It's 5d6.
My armor is 11.
So you take 12 points of damage. It is ablated. And let me deal with this critical hit then.
I should never forget my assault rifle again. Although my handgun does 4d6, so I guess that's not bad. But it's only one shot.
Yeah, I mean, handgun does a lot of damage. Like weapons do a lot of damage in this. Like I was surprised at how much
Well, guns should.
they do, but I mean, it makes sense. Do you want to roll your 2d6 for your injury?
No,
You want me to roll?
you shot me.
All right. Okay, critical injuries. 2d6. Wow, critical injuries are nasty in this. $10. You've been shot in the back. You cannot take an action, but you can still take a move action. Looks like if you can get a quick fix with a paramedic DV15, but you're going to ultimately need surgery because they got awfully close to your spine.
Yeah, they shot you in the spine. Yeah.
Yep.
So I help him. I'll help you move us away. Get away.
Okay.
Okay. To the body. Okay, so just one second, because remember, a critical injury causes a horrible injury and deal 5 extra bonus damage directly to your hit points. So just an FYI, that extra 5 there.
So you took 19. You took 19.
It's not ablated,
right?
And
ablation isn't. It's not absorbed. Ablation is the removal of the armor point.
I took 12 before, so I'm taking 17. Is what you're saying?
Yes.
Yeah, well, I'm just saying the bonus damage doesn't, because it's a separate source of damage. It doesn't.
It's not. Yeah, it's not impacted by your armor. The critical damage isn't impacted by your armor.
Yep.
It's not absorbed by your armor. Absorption is what our armor does. Ablation is the destruction of the armor.
Correct. All right. So a good shot in the back there. All right. So what do you guys do at this point?
I'm going to take him to a doctor, a ripper doc that I know, to hopefully make him not damaged as bad.
All right.
And then once that's done and he's set up and safe, I'm going to go talk to the reporter, the media, and tell him he knows where they are. He can go talk to him himself and ask for our money.
All right. So as you guys are running, roll for me.
And if the cyberpsycho murders them all, I'm fine with it.
Roll for me a perception check, if you could, please.
Both of us, or I don't know if I'm able to make a perception check at the moment.
It doesn't say you can't make a perception check because it's not like your head was...
It says he can't take an action,
but you can still take a move action. So I would assume that you could still look around. You may be...
All right, I got a 17.
Not excited about anything.
I got a 14. Do I still get the stat on rolling, or is it just straight roll if you don't have any levels in the skill?
So like if you have if you don't have the skill, you can still roll it at stat.
Okay.
Your perception was 0?
My perception is 6. Which is why I got a 14.
Oh, I was just like, what? I thought you had perception. Okay.
I don't have any levels in perception. No.
Oh, really? But your stack is
my stats. Okay. 6, yeah. My cool is 6, yeah.
Okay. Jeff, what did you roll again?
17.
17. You see somebody kind of like ahead of you, kind of like jump from the kind of a building, kind of going to a window and then kind of landing in the alleyway that you've chosen to run down. And they seem to be coming up, and they look at you as if they're wondering like what's going on with you, and they scream and they go, "You stop before you fire. Is your friend okay?"
No, and I didn't fire at anybody.
I noticed. Okay. She's like, it looks like you got a pretty nasty wound there. And she kind of like slowly comes out into the light. And from what you can tell, or at least into an area that you can see her more closely. From what you can tell, though, she does look as though she's got, in this world, they say chromed up. Is that
Yeah.
the name of it?
Yeah. And as she comes out, I say, "Yeah, I got to get him to a doc."
She's just like, well, so the woman, she's kind of, she looks, she's just like, hey, friend. And you can tell, like, when you see her, Jeff, pretty quickly, you can see that she has like a nomad pin on her jacket. And she's just like, I can tell that you need some help. And because she's a nomad, you'd think that she's probably helpful, whole nomad code and everything like that. For what you see, though, Brent, you see just kind of like a woman. She's got buzzed hair. She's got a series of light tattoos on her face, and she's got one arm replaced with cyberware and one leg replaced with cyberware, and her clothing is cut close to that. And so I guess it's kind of up to you. She's not approaching threateningly. She's like, I can help your friend.
Well, I mean, he's not in any direct, like, he's not going to die where he is. And I was like, are you a doc? It's basically what I asked.
She says, I know a little bit of first aid, but I was also kind of curious about what your relationship to that crew in that warehouse was.
Well, a reporter wanted us to talk to him, but they apparently didn't want to talk to us, and they shot my friend. So I'm going to get him into a doc now. And if you are who I think you are, good luck.
Who do you think she is?
Well, I'm hoping she's the cyberpsycho, and she's going to go back and kill those people.
Okay.
They eliminated my good grades almost immediately by not even questioning anything.
So at this point, she's like, well, what? And so she's like, are you sure? I mean, I'd love to help your friend. It looks like they're a member of one of the families.
Let her help.
Okay. I say sure. And I let her help him.
Okay. She pulls out kind of like a little first aid kit from seemingly out of nowhere, and she kind of goes to work. And she's just like, I'm surprised that you guys would be chasing after that crew. They're pretty nasty business. And
well, we were just supposed to get them, I don't know, set them up with for an interview or something with and then I tell her the media's name. Trace, is that his name?
Yeah, Trace. She's like, Santiago?
Mm-hmm.
And she's like, well, what were you trying to interview him about? I mean, they didn't really seem like the speaking type based on
Definitely not. And I just say I don't know what he wanted to talk to him about. He just wanted us to set it up.
Yeah, well, I mean,
basically, and then I tell her, yeah, they've eliminated all my goodwill. We pretty much approached as friendly as we could, and they just started to open fire at us. So,
okay,
whatever happens to them now is not my problem.
Okay. So as she's working on you, Jeff, you can tell she kind of numbs the area from pain and everything like that. And you do feel a lot better based on what's happened so far. She's able to like kind of remove the bullet, give a quick patch.
I do introduce myself. I say, I go by Mr. Bob. Do you have a name?
And she says, Nat. N-A-T is Nat. And she's just like, well, I was planning on jumping that crew, and as you said, dealing with them in my own special way. But I saw what happened to your friend here, and I knew. Which family are you from, Jeff? Do you happen to know?
I don't think he made up a name.
Yeah, I don't think I made up a name.
Okay, I could tell he was from one of the families, and so I thought that took precedence over over going after those people, especially now that they're a little bit on guard. And if Trace Santiago is involved with this, I'm pretty sure you're probably here to hunt out the cyberpsycho. And she kind of spits that out as if it tastes a little bit sour.
I tell her my job isn't to hunt anybody. Trace just wanted information from them about the situation that's going on. That's all we were supposed to do. Otherwise, I would have shot back. What I do ask her, what's up with you and the crew?
Well, she tells you, she's like, it happened about a month ago. My pack was bringing in some food into Night City when a strike team hit us. They killed my mates, wrecked our vehicles. I was honestly the only survivor. They zoomed off with the food, but one of theirs fell off their rig. They left him for dead, but he was alive enough for me to tell me that Continental Brands was the one that hired them. So ever since I walked into Night City, and before I bled out, I got patched up, similar to your friend, and I've been hunting them ever since. I really can't take down a megacorp or anything like that, but I can find out the asshole who ordered the hit, put him in the ground. So yeah, that's it. I'm 3 crews in, and I'm still not sure who the asshole was that sent him after us, but
how many of them? There were 4 of them, right? There were 4 people that came up to the roof.
Yeah, there were a total of 4.
Okay, so that's what I tell her. I tell her that's a 2-story building. There's a skylight at the top of the building, and there's 4 of them, and they have assault rifles.
Yeah, she's like, and from what I can tell from how they dealt with you, it looks like it was going to be a trap. There's no way I'm going to be walking into there.
Well, you could go up to the skylight and throw a bunch of grenades down there. You'd probably get them. That's what I suggest.
And so at this point, you can see that Santiago's drone is kind of limping along, and it kind of comes over, and through a microphone.
Do I hear it before it gets close?
You do.
I tell her. I say that's probably Trace's drone. If you don't want to be on the drone, you should probably go.
And so, but Trace is a nomad. Like, he'd understand. And really,
I wanted her to have the option, though, so that's what I tell her.
Yeah, she can do what she wants, but yeah, I agree. I'm nodding along as much as I can.
So she stays. That's fine, but I don't want her to think.
Yeah, she stays. Patch up Jeff, and then Trace basically comes through and like hovering kind of erratically, because you can tell that some of the servos and everything like that were hit, and of course the and you can still hear he still apparently has some sort of speaker that he can use to talk to you guys, and he asked to kind of be caught up. And do you guys catch him up or leave anything out?
Well, she's standing there. I just tell my side of the story. I just say, yeah, they shot at us. They got chased in the spine.
She's like,
they wouldn't talk to us at all. So if you want to talk to them, Trace, that's your prerogative, but they'll probably shoot up your drone again.
It's like, I can't, well, my drone can't go back in there, and I'm definitely not.
I'm going to go deliver Trace to a Ripper Dock and then come to get our money.
Chase? Well, he says, after you catch him up, and then he kind of sees what situation Nat's in and everything like that. He talks since it's talking about a fixer for the Continental brand. It's very likely that not something that you can easily do tonight. But he says this. He says he'll double your pay if you can take Nat to the Aldecado camp, so she can rest up and kind of get out of the city, because I'm sure that at this point it's probably a little bit too hot for her. And so if you want to escort her out there, we can take care of your friend. Should be a pretty easy job. Just have to drive us out there. Just have to come get me from the afterlife, and we'll head out of here.
Oh yeah, Jeff has a car. Could you drive?
I've got a car.
It doesn't say he can't drive.
Sure.
Okay, so yeah, I guess if Chase agrees, yeah.
Okay.
Chase,
all right,
you agree?
Yes, I agree. 100%.
Sounds like easy money. ... So yeah, you guys get back to the afterlife. You see that that Trace is kind of waiting out. Trace and Chase, sorry. You see that Trace
Yeah,
is outside.
I leave Chase outside and her in the car, and I go in to get Trace.
Okay. Yeah, he packs up. You know, as I said, he's kind of slow, obviously, because he himself was beat up pretty good. Your assault rifle is in the car, right?
It's in the trunk, yeah. I lost my bat,
That's true. You did lose
which
your
is
bat.
covered in ganger blood anyway, so I guess it doesn't really matter. I can get a new one.
You lost the murder weapon. Fair enough. Okay. So yeah, he says, "Yeah, thanks, guys. It sounds like based on what you told me when I got my drone there, she's in a pretty bad spot, and it's hard for one person to take on a mega core. But I mean, if you,
I think she could
but if
sneak up
there's,
to the second floor and blow up that entire building. I think she could really do it.
he's just like, I don't think that's the entire purpose of this. But you know what we can do is if I can get more of her story out there, we can at least make it so the nomad families don't. You know, they may be hesitant to work with Continental brands, and that'll be something.
Okay, Chase,
here.
or okay, Trace, where can I get a backpack full of grenades?
It's like, well, my friend, we have a lot of those types of things at the Nomad camp. I don't happen to carry a backpack full of grenades, but if you're dead set on revenge, I can see what
I really don't like getting shot at. So
I feel like the
I help him with his stuff out to the car.
Okay. Yep. Do you pull your assault rifle out of the trunk to make room for his drone?
If I have to. I mean, the assault rifle sits pretty flat.
Yeah, just asking. Okay.
We bungee the back down onto his drone.
All
I mean,
right.
they're small, aren't they? Aren't the red drones are pretty small, aren't they? They're not like big.
It kind of gave me the impression that it was big, but I don't.
Might be.
There wasn't really any size indication in there, so I kind of imagined it was that big. So probably not enough to really take up too much trunk space, truthfully.
I assume they get smaller in the future.
Okay.
They're not like the
bigger
6 foot.
if they have more guns.
They're not like the 6 foot government spy drones.
That's true. That's true. So as you get into your vehicle, Jeff, everything starts up. Oh, the comfort of being in your vehicle. Now, so you're supposed to have like kind of a compact car. What kind of car do you really have, and how have you made it your own? Like, are there any flourishes that say this is Chase's vehicle?
No, because I'm any extra money that I get, I'm paying off family debt.
Fair
Kind
enough.
of one of the things about my character. So it's probably one that looks pretty nondescript, like a lot of cars, but I take as much care of it as I can because it's part of my job. Like if my car doesn't run, I can't transport stuff.
It's his
I can't
meal ticket.
go meet people. Yeah. So like under the hood, it's really good, but it probably, so it doesn't attract attention, looks pretty nondescript.
Oh, like if you're a smuggler, like there's plenty of room in his trunk. He's probably hollowed it out more so you can put more shit in it. So yeah.
Well,
there's nothing distinguishing besides me, Mike.
We're lucky it has back seats in it. Probably.
Well, it says this type of car seats 4. And you happen to be 4 people, so
yeah, it's 4. It's probably a little snug.
Yeah, but what I'm saying is there's 2 extra seats in the back. Okay. He hasn't taken those out to reduce weight and or more space to smuggle shit.
To do all kinds of stuff. I imagine like what was it? It was the Dukes of Hazzard where they had all the place for the moonshine that they could deliver.
Yeah.
So, okay. Well, as you guys get into the car, you start it up and you see kind of a spotlight kind of going, it's like kind of searching down the alley and then kind of hit your car. And you see Nat look out and she's like, oh, fuck, a sniper. Head south. We got to get out of here. And at that point, you see a gyrocopter kind of closing in on your vehicle, Jeff.
Now can I use evasion?
So combat in vehicles is actually kind of interesting. So as soon as you get into your vehicle, it's like now your car has like structural damage points and everything like that. Now in this particular situation, now you're kind of like at the top of the initiative queue and everything like that, and you can move through this. Now, what this is kind of proposing is we're basically in a skill contest. So the skill contest is that you have a gyrocopter or a Eurocopter. Which one is it? Gyrocopter to you guys? I guess I've never asked you guys. Are
It's
you guys
probably
on
a gyrocopter.
I would assume gyrocopter. For some reason, my brain just went to food. I don't know why. But you have a gyrocopter that's chasing you. You have the ability to do maneuvers and everything like that. And it does look as though there's somebody training a gun on your location. And so
So it's a
because
small helicopter.
it is. Yeah. It's really only got 2 seats in this case, basically for a pilot and in this case a sniper that's trying to end the chase. Okay. So start your engines. Vroom, vroom. Okay. So really the gyrocopter is going to do its best to kind of stay at its perfect distance from you to give the sniper kind of optimal shots at you. Um, and so that's going to kind of you can decide if you want to move closer to it, farther away from it.
Is the
But
sniper in the copter or is the sniper in a building?
in the copter, he's basically
Okay.
kind of imagine the Die Hard situation where the guy's leaning out with a rifle kind of thing and trying to get you.
And what are the rules for shooting at it with my pistol?
No different. You would have your range. You basically your range check would be what you'd have to deal with. So
Right.
in this case,
I want to try to put distance between us. So like anything that I can drive, anything that I know of in the area that like would cause a flying thing to have to swerve or raise up or lower down, or like a bridge or a tunnel or
okay.
an alley.
That's
I'm going to be heading for those types of things using my
Yeah.
drive land vehicle skill.
drive
Okay.
that land vehicle.
So as part of this, now there is so really what the best thing to do is, since you're going for those types of things, you can also perform maneuvers, and the maneuvers are going to be kind of your most important check to kind of do kind of like point out what you're doing here. So in this case, if you're trying to go forward and just drive straight, you might try to like swerve or something like that. Do a sharp turn, emergency stop, do a bootleg turn or a jump. But the first 3 that I mentioned have a DV of 13. The last 2 have a DV of 17. So kind of depends on what you're trying to do. So if you consider you're trying to find those locations, you would do the maneuver like a swerve to try to make sure that they can get a good shot
let's
at you
swerve.
as you're doing that.
Let's jump the
so
car
I'm-
into the gyrocopter.
So your reflex plus your, I believe it's automotive skill,
Drive land
pilot.
vehicle.
Yep, drive land vehicle.
So yeah, that's a
and then
12.
plus a D10.
And you can use lock to adjust your roll to add to your roll.
14 beats the
Okay.
13.
Correct. So as you're trying to find these kind of landmarks to help you put yourself in a more treacherous area for the gyrocopter, tell me how exactly you're like, how do you drive? Are you kind of like just kind of going around every corner you can, and or are you just trying to drive down a straightaway, kind of going back and forth?
I'm trying to mix it up. So some blocks I'll drive 1 or 2 blocks, and then I'll make a right or a left without signaling. That's whatever feels clear. Trying not to leave a discernible pattern, but trying to, move away from the area as fast as I can towards something. I mean, there's got to be landmarks in the city. There's got to be things that I know of,
Yeah.
places that I'm going to try to go.
Yep.
So
And like they said you're basically try to head into the hot zone going south. That's the overall direction they're trying to take you there. Okay. I'm going to give you the next initiative, Brent, so you can kind of decide what you want to do. Now, I did look up the difficulty value for a pistol, and a pistol wouldn't be. The pistol doesn't really have a good difficulty value at 200 meters. It's like it's 30 at 100, so you'd have to probably use your assault rifle to have a chance in there.
So can I say I took my assault rifle out of the back then, since I said I didn't?
Well, you can grab it out. Most cars, even today, have those like you can kind of pull the seat forward to get into
Sure,
the
if I can get back there, yeah, I'll use my assault rifle to shoot at it.
Okay.
You want me to shoot at it then?
Mhm.
I'll just take one shot currently. Is that shoulder arms if it's one shot, and then auto fire if I'm auto firing it?
Yeah,
right?
so shoulder arms would be the and so it would be shoulder, the shoulder whatever, and
Yeah,
then
shoulder arms is what it's called. Let me look
shoulder
at
arms.
let me look at one other thing real quick. I just wanted to make sure I remembered.
Let me just double check where it starts.
So with my combat points, I'm gonna put 3 into adding +1 to the damage to the attack check, so +1 to hit. And then I'm going to use 1 point for spot weakness, which will add +1 to the damage. So that's my
Okay.
4 points. And that'll persist unless I change it next round.
Okay, so
I rolled a 25, which means
Okay.
I roll another d10. I rolled a 35.
Jesus Christ, man.
wow.
I rolled a 10 and a 10 again, so I got.
I see that. Yeah.
I think you've saved up all your gaming luck for this particular game.
And now it's all gone.
So yeah, you fire your assault rifle and go ahead and roll damage. Now, since it's in since you're firing, you're basically having to fire at the gyrocopter itself. And you weren't really aiming for a location, but just firing at it, I assume, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so do some damage for me.
24 points of damage.
Jesus. Good start.
5d6 is a lot.
It is a lot. And okay, so I'm gonna let the gyrocopter pilot have a turn to roll his maneuver because he's gonna try to roll a perfect maneuver on you. Just a second.
What does his maneuver do?
He's basically maintaining speed, altitude, and all that kind of stuff. Okay. What is his maneuver going to do? All right. So he's going to try to chase through the buildings and everything along those lines. His difficulty is a okay. You notice that he actually, as he attempts to kind of like find a good place for the sniper to take a good pot shot, he actually has to duck under some advertisements that some old signs that basically are hanging over the building, haven't fallen down or anything like that, putting them a little bit closer to the ground, and he actually gets a little closer than he wanted to. So he's actually decreased the distance between him and you, making it actually easier for you to fire at him. But I also believe that makes it more challenging for the sniper to shoot. So the sniper is going to take a pot shot. Well, I mean, however much you could take a pot shot with a sniper rifle, I guess. Okay. All right. Oh, 25. He hits your car.
Well, now I'm mad.
For 13 points of damage. That was probably the weakest shot I think he could have done.
No, the weakest shot he could have done was 5.
Oh, well, I guess that's true. I stand corrected.
I mean, he could have rolled all ones.
Yeah, I stand corrected.
Not to be pedantic or anything, but
Thanks.
it wasn't. It was. I rolled really high, I think. Yeah, I rolled 2 6s when I rolled, so I rolled really high.
All right, so I'm just looking at the compact ground car
50.
hit points.
50.
50. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. 15. Okay. So Jeff, your turn.
Guess I'm gonna try and swerve again.
Okay.
13, but I rolled a 1.
Oh, that's a critical failure.
-6, so a 7.
Okay, 1 second. Okay. Well, so as you were, basically as the car got shot and everything like that, you kind of lose control a little bit of your vehicle. At this point, so you basically you plow through and you cream the side of another car, a derelict car that you didn't see as you were kind of moving about and everything along those lines. So everybody takes whiplash, and your car takes 16 points of damage. Okay.
What does whiplash do?
Whiplash. 1 second. So whiplash means your base death save penalty is increased by 1. That's all it does. Okay.
So when we crash, you
Okay.
take 60 hit points of damage.
Well, the car does.
We'll die a little bit. No, I said when we crash and we take damage.
Yeah.
I know the car has only been damaged so far, but the damage has been 12 plus 16.
Okay.
28.
Yeah,
So
28.
we're over half.
Brent.
I shoot at them. I rolled a 1. I roll another 1d10, right?
Yeah, technically.
I rolled an 8.
Yeah,
So I missed them entirely.
Yeah, you shoot, giving them a warning shot, but I think based on the fact,
does Nat not have a gun? Is she not shooting at them?
Good point. She should probably do something. Does she have a gun? She has a heavy pistol. Not a very good weapon for this type of range.
But they're closer now, aren't they?
They are a band closer. They're at the 100-yard range, so I can see if she can hit. Okay.
I throw my bat at them. Oh, I don't have my bat anymore.
There's a lot of charts, so even with cheat sheets here.
Yeah, there are a lot of charts in this game.
Yeah.
If she can't, just never mind. If she can't hit him, she can't hit him. We can go on.
It's a DV30. It'd have to be a critical strike to hit with the
Yeah,
pistol.
we can just move on. That's fine.
Okay. All right. So Pilot's going to roll his.
I pass her my assault rifle so she can shoot it on her turn, and then she passes it back to me so I can shoot it on my turn.
Just passing it back and forth. I think that would be amusing as hell, but I don't think that's what they.
That's very video gamey.
Okay. The gyrocopter pilot, surprised at seeing your maneuver that basically slowed you down and got them even closer, pulled up. Well, at this point, I guess he didn't pull up in time, so now he is literally just right on your ass. Like there's you, and then there's the gyrocopter probably about 20 meters apart.
Oh, so she can shoot him next turn.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay. So the sniper guy is going to, now that he has a clear shot at Nat, he's going to try to shoot him.
Isn't that a called shot because he's not shooting at the car?
Correct. $16. He doesn't roll well enough. He basically, in his attempt to hit her directly, and kind of the fact that the gyrocopter is swinging wildly, he kind of shoots wide. At this point, you guys are within about 30 meters of the gyrocopter. So, Jeff, your maneuver time. What are you doing?
I'm slamming on the brakes.
Okay. Slamming on the brakes. In this case,
Is that a 13 or 17?
Let me double check. Emergency stop at 13.
Oh. 22. Oh, and I get to roll another one.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, I'm going to suggest that you rolled so well. What exactly were you trying to accomplish by slamming on the brakes?
To make him the target. Really? Slamming on the brakes and having him shoot past us, and then realizing his panic, and as he starts to try to turn, he's going to freeze for a second, you know?
Sure. Okay. Yeah, he shoots right on by you as you've perfectly timed your emergency stop. So now he's ahead of you, Jeff. So now he's ahead of you by, I'd say, probably not very much. Jeff, how far away do you want him to be ahead of you? Do you want him to be close enough for gunfire? Do you want him to be?
I want to be close enough for gunfire.
Because you rolled so well, do you want to? So, Brent, what's your optimal range, and do you want to try to help Brent with that? Because Brent's optimal range is 26 to 50 meters.
Yeah, I want to try to keep it in his optimal range.
So 40, 35,
Yeah.
35.
Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
35 in front of us, I guess.
And maybe even turn a little bit so that he doesn't have to lean as much. It's more of a
Or if you wanted to, there is the auto fire option. And if you could be 13 to 25 meters, you can get a DC 17 on an auto fire if you wanted to.
I just rolled a 1. How about I just do a regular shot? We'll call it good.
That's fair. I'm doing everything I can to help him, though, to try to make the shot a little easier.
You rolled a 1? Where'd you roll a 1?
No, on the last turn.
My last shot was a 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
The one before this was a 1 for me.
Yeah.
And then I rolled a 10.
So can I shoot
10 earlier?
Can I shoot him again?
Yeah, you can shoot. You got
22.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect.
20 points of damage.
That's pretty good.
So I've done 44 points of damage.
Nice.
Okay, so at this point, so basically, if you can imagine this, what it seems like happened in the short order of events is that as you were driving your car, Jeff, you got the sniper hit your car, and it just that loud distracted you long enough that you kind of sideswiped a car as you were driving by. The gyrocopter pilot apparently has not been able to easily maneuver through these narrower streets getting into the hot zone, just because there's no maintenance, there's shit all over the place that he's trying to avoid and doing a terrible job of it. However,
so he flew super close.
You basically got him super close, and then your emergency stop and kind of turn to the side where Brent just fires one shot into the deal, and the motor starts smoking. Just kind of like starts smoking. He tries to pull up, loses control, and it just kind of flies down a side street, to where a few seconds later you hear a crash of it going into a building or hitting the ground or something.
All right, I guess we continue on to where we're trying to go.
All right.
Do you want to investigate? I guess I look at the other
Mr.
two.
Bob wants to go shoot the 2 guys that were chasing you, yes, but he...
No, but I'm going to ask...
I hope somebody else has a sense of reason
Trace.
and says, no, we should just go.
I'm going to ask Trace if we should investigate or just get the hell out of here.
No, he's just like, just go. We don't want to invite.
Yeah, no, we're getting the hell out there.
Any more eyes on the situation.
Okay.
So basically tracing your way through the city until you get to the Aldecado camp.
And Mr. Bob talks about going and doming them the entire ride back to the Aldecado camp.
It's just like, I could have got him. One of them was probably alive.
We should go back and we should make sure that they don't ever chase us again.
Didn't mean it that. I just meant maybe we'd figure out who sent them. But yeah, let's get the hell out.
It's not what Mr. Bob means.
Like, we should go back.
We should go back.
So we can know who sent us? Sure.
We know who to thank.
We'll probably find that out too, maybe.
We'll send cards.
I do have interrogate though, so
So once you guys get to the Aldecado camp, there's like a security checkpoint, with some of the nomads that are kind of manning it, and they see Trace pop his head out, and they obviously wave you through. And they welcome pretty much everybody there with open arms, nomad hospitality, providing you food, a place to sleep, medical care in your case, and of course, so they'll treat all of your whiplash and everything along those lines. They initially, while you're getting checked out by the docs, Jeff, Trace and Nat pop off to the side, to go kind of have a private conversation. But after you're done getting evaluated and having the doctors treat you and everything like that, they come back, and Nat kind of approaches you both and says, thanks for your help. It's good to know there's at least a few decent people left in this whole shithole of a city.
And I ask her when we're going. I ask her when we're going back to the building to throw a bag full of grenades down there at Skylight.
Well, she's like, if it, and this is where it's kind of that moment. She says, "Well, if you're looking to join me," she kind of she gives you her agent code or whatever it is, and she's like, "I'll let you know when I find whenever I find my PAX killer. But in case you also need a favor from me, I think you've earned it."
I look her in the face and tell her I really don't like being shot at.
She's like, and so Trace looks at you guys and he says, tonight didn't go as expected, but you guys made the right choice in the end. And I think based on what Nat has to say, I've got enough enough to help me dig up some dirt on this Continental Brands. And maybe we'll put some core bro in jail or whatever it is. And at the very least, nomads on the West Coast will be a little hesitant to do business with them, and that should hit them in their stock prices. He pays you, the doubled amount because he's a good man. And pretty much in the next few days, kind of laying low key with Jeff's injury and everything like that, you do see an expose on Continental Brands, and you can see that how Continental Brands seems to have been hitting nomad caravans and raiding their food and everything like that. And so he goes into as much detail as he was able to get from Nat, and it does seem as though it's a pretty bad hit piece. The Continental Brands have some pretty damning evidence against them, and you can tell that probably at this juncture they're going to scale back their raiding operations, at least for a while. So,
and mysteriously 100 grenades fall into a building in the marina and blow the shit out of everything inside.
So needless to say, if we were to follow our 4 questions, Brent at least has an enemy.
2, actually.
I don't know.
Because the Reclaimers or whatever the hell they're called probably aren't happy with us either.
Yeah. So how does what they did impact Night City? You apparently got the Megacorp Continental Brands to back off raiding nomad caravans. Thumbs up. How does this change the party situation? You've gotten good with some of the nomads, especially the Aldecados, which seem important. Who did the party piss off?
Everyone we talked to.
Hard Hat's crew.
Everyone we talked to.
Everyone.
Well, Hard Hat's crew, and like I said, the gang that we.
Yeah, and the Reclaimers
unceremoniously executed 2 of the people.
The Reckoners
in the middle of the
Yeah, they're not thrilled with us.
And who did you make friends with? You made friends with
Trace and Nat.
Yeah,
and the
people that Reckoners were.
Yeah, the tent city.
That dude that I saved, that I gave him the money that they took from him, and you just let him crawl off somewhere injured.
For some reason, I feel like that's more of that. It's like every time I have a situation where he's just like, well, we just accidental heroics, kind of a byproduct of what you did. Remember that Firefly episode where it's like the Janestown or whatever it is?
Mm-hmm.
Like that's one of my favorite episodes.
My character is very much like Jane, kind of, I guess.
Yeah. Well,
more loyal, but yeah. And dedicated to the mission, dedicated to the job.
Jane was pretty loyal in the end.
No, they sold him out. That's why Mal put him in the airlock in one episode.
I know, but
that's not loyalty.
He realized he made a mistake. He had a change of heart halfway.
No, he realized that Mal would shoot him out of the airlock.
It's true. Yeah. Well, I thought in that episode, because that was on Mercy or something like that, and then like he was going to do the thing, kind of did the thing anyways, but didn't fully commit to the thing.
You should watch it again, because I think he sold him out, and that's why Mal is like, if you ever do that again.
Yeah. For some reason, I thought he had a change of heart in there. That's why he came back instead of taking the loads of money. But I'll watch it again because it's part of my watch list in order to get ready for Coriolis. So it's good.
Okay.
It's a good thing to get on there. Well, there we go. Cyberpunk. I do think there's a lot of charts to kind of get used to. But
I think there's a lot of stuff you'll just memorize after a while. Really.
Yeah, like that. It wasn't too challenging. I had a lot of cheat sheets that I made, and then of course, because I haven't really navigated my cheat sheets other than the couple times we played so far, it's still kind of like, where is that on the thing?
Yeah, and combat's pretty straightforward. Being the cover is basically cover his armor, and they have to shoot through it or get around it, which is kind of nice. That's very straightforward.
Right. Yeah, that was awesome. Honestly,
yeah, you're either in cover or not. Like they can see you or they can't. There's no partial cover. There's no modified cover.
Yeah, either you're, and I think that's very helpful. Honestly, I really thought that was a very like, and even if as it went through, it's like, okay, well, your cover is expended, but it didn't, like they didn't just Swiss cheese your cover and then all of a sudden you're taking half the damage as well. Like it's just either the cover's there or it's not, and then now they get to attack you.
It does mean focus fire is very, very deadly, though. Like if all four of those people would have just shot at me, that would have been bad.
Yeah, you and your bloody bat just tossing it on the ground.
Well, I put it down when I was trying to get them to not shoot at us when they came up. So
yeah, right. Well, it's just funny though because you got this bloody bat and you're like, "We're coming in peace."
It was a bat versus an assault rifle.
It's true. Yeah, and I always find that interesting, you know, like the your outward presentation really matters. Okay, well, I'll leave my weapons in the car. Well, you need your weapons for having these missions. I don't know, it's just kind of an interesting dichotomy that you run.
We were armed. I mean, we had guns. We could have shot back, but that was not the point of the mission, getting in a firefight with them.
Yeah. So, well, needless to say, I hope you had fun at least.
It was fun.
Fun.
I like Cyberpunk. I like it.
Yeah. I thought this one particularly worked really good with this group because it gave you the opportunity to have a solo action in terms of, you know, some fights and stuff like that that were in there. And then also the
chase scene.
Then also the chase for the nomad.
Yeah, that was cool. That was good. I liked it.
Yeah. I did find it funny though, because like basically, and as I was running this game with you, I was like, these missions are awfully railroady. Like you could flesh this out a lot to make it more.
Yeah, all the Cyberpunk missions are pretty railroady.
Yeah, like, at least in Tales of the Red. Like this one,
the one that I turned into the over the edge scenario.
The cargo.
I mean, it was pretty railroady too, except for the alien monkey at the end.
Is that the one we did?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a Cyberpunk Red. That's a Cyberpunk Red. I don't remember which book it's in, but yeah, it's a Cyberpunk Red mission that I turned in. I used for.
Yeah. Well, so I think they make really good one shots. But
I think that's one of the things that's good about their one shots is you can move them to other games pretty easily because mechanics aren't really that important in the one shots that they write. So,
Jeff, you were going to say something? I'm sorry, I didn't mean to.
No. I'm agreeing with Brent.
Okay. Well, then I think we'll do a debrief on it this week. And so if you are interested in our overall thoughts from running the game, we are running on 2 separate tables. So I've run 2 one-shots with it, which doesn't make me an expert by any means, but at least I'll have formed some basic impressions from running it. Of course, if you've made it this far, don't hesitate to tell us how we ran it well. What did you like? What did you not like? Obviously, if you're looking at kind of some of the stumbling that every table does when they're first learning a game, this is really the first time I've ever run Cyberpunk Red. That's expected. But if you have any other advice or anything that you've encountered, let us know. We looked up a lot of advice, and I'm sure there's definitely more out there. So
Yeah.
That's fair.
So, outside of the comments, Jeff, how do they talk with us?
They can talk with us on social media. We are at Rollwise on most platforms. You can also email us, rollwiseguys@gmail.com.
And as always, thank you for joining us. We hope you had fun, as much fun as we did. And roll well, roll wise, and be safe out there, everybody.
Thanks.